please help me welcome with his speech title, Cyber Defender, Lisandro Pellow.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lisandro Pellow. I was born in Guatemala and lived there until I was 2.5 years old. My parents, who are named Chris and Alicia Pellow, adopted me at this point. I did not really remember that time in my life, but my parents tell me stories. Stories of the things that we experienced on the trip from Guatemala. For example, my interest in gadgets and technology has always been with me. I know this because my mom tells me stories like how on the flight home she had to watch me like a hawk because I was wanting to push all the buttons and call the flight attendant repeatedly. And even on the drive home from the airport, apparently I had never been in a car with electric windows because I was wanting to push all the buttons and was very amused by being able to push a button to get a window to roll down. Once we got home in Colorado, I was introduced to my brother, Yabby. I could not say his name properly, so that's what I called him. But his name is actually Gavin. We both didn't get along for a little while, but right now I think we are closer than ever. We lived in Golden, Colorado, where me and my brother were younger, and that was an awesome place to be as a kid. We had tons of outdoor space and places to explore and adventure. It was also a huge blessing that my mom homeschooled us because once we were done with our work, we were always outside and enjoying and camping, trying new things, and having new experiences. It was even better with my grandparents because they lived close by, so we got to spend a lot of time with them as we were growing up. As a child, I had exciting new experiences every day, whether it be with friends, hiking, biking, bouldering, or even video games, which was the one thing that made me interested in how an image can work, or even how a remote control works. So I thought the best way to find out how electronics works was to take them apart. I even took apart some toys and even some furniture and tried to put them back together. Unfortunately, I never figured out how to put some of them back together, so if you would like any extra parts, you can come over. As my interest in how things work gradually grew, so did my curiosity, leading me to want to figure out things on my own. Some examples led me to set off fire alarms by trying to light off a rocket in my room with a magnifying glass, which ended up working but left a burn mark on my hip for an uncomfortable amount of months. I also ended up breaking DVD players and lots of remote controls, skateboards, scooters, TVs, and alarm clocks, which ultimately led me getting grounded a few times in my life. However, because of my huge curiosity about things, it made me be able to learn things at a much faster rate, which helped me learn the piano. Even though I never cared for lessons or to read sheet music, so my brain led me to make my own by putting sounds together and making my own classical music. It has also helped me learn skills like problem solving and critical thinking, which in turn got me to express my creativity in ways I never thought possible. But now that I go to Journey Academy, my routine is pretty similar to most high schoolers. I get up, go to school, and then right after that, either go to practice or head home, eat dinner, and hang out with my family. Then, after that, sometimes our whole entire family, we often go to the gym together to work out. Once I'm home, I end up working on projects, such as like taking things apart, rebuilding them, or build something to make it simpler and easier for me to use. For example, I was really annoyed with my little computer called a Raspberry Pi. Because it had only 4 USB ports, which was way too few for my needs with the Pi, I also got a keyboard to go with it. But some of the keys didn't work, so instead of throwing it away, I took it apart because it had 3 extra USB ports. So I connected it to my Raspberry Pi. It took me an hour of trying to wire it before it finally worked, but now I have 7 USB ports on my Raspberry. It also worked. It was working on these little things to make a life a little bit easier at home that really grew my passion and curiosity for technology. especially programming and virtual boxes. As I explored this new world, I found that I could make anything, then destroy it and rebuild it again. It became obvious to me and those around me that my great next adventure lies in cybersecurity. Because if we are able to imagine a world where people can trust that their private information will stay safe and businesses don't have to worry about waking up to a hacking nightmare, then that sounds like a better world to live in. And so, for you to understand how important cybersecurity is, try to imagine this. You are a business owner who put your whole heart and soul into their business, only for you to wake up to a single cyber attack that destroyed everything, including putting your personal information out to the public. It doesn't sound fun, but this happens more than you think. And so I would want to be your shield and shields for many other businesses. To me, it sounds so fascinating to stay ahead of threats that lurk in the shadows and to be with a team to think about and make the world a better and safer place. I want to one day be a cybersecurity expert who works nonstop to protect systems, businesses, and people to make our lives even easier and safer. Here's the thing. Some of you may be wondering what cybersecurity even is. It is the practice of protecting systems, networks, programs, data, and from digital attacks. And these professionals work tirelessly to stay ahead of these attacks and other cybersecurity threats, constantly learning the latest trends and techniques in order to protect your system's information and your sensitive information. Unfortunately, although some of you have been victims of these attacks. For example, have any of you had your credit card or debit card information stolen, or had a computer virus, or worse, even had your identity stolen? If so, you know that it is important to take immediate action to protect yourself and your personal information. Now think about this. Imagine that never even happened. All because you downloaded the latest software that stopped the threat before it even started. How much time and money would you have saved yourself? That's how I want to live, in a world where technology makes our lives better without putting our safety at risk. And the next step is me asking for your help, because it may be more difficult for me to become an expert in cybersecurity because I am not going the traditional route. I am working on getting certifications related to the cybersecurity industry. So, are you able to share your knowledge, give me advice, and create chances for growth, and my experiences around this new complicated digital world? I'm looking for mentors, access to tools, and connections in the field of cybersecurity, and especially for internships. I will do what I say. I promise to work hard to become an expert in cybersecurity. In return, I promise to get the certifications I need by going to the cybersecurity bootcamp at the University of Colorado and getting involved by the cybersecurity community to meet new people and to make connections. I will give back to the community by giving the next generation of people who want to protect our digital world the tools they need and the same sense of duty and drive to do so. This is my last message to say thank you and to make a promise. No matter how hard things get or how many people try to stop me, I will never give up. I will never give up on any of my goals to protect and serve in the cybersecurity community. Thank you.
Any questions from our audience? And I'm going to sort of repeat your question, so don't make it too long, just so the people in the back can hear. Hey buddy, you got a question? What's that? If you start your company, what would be the company name? I mean, your title was Cyber Defender, which was pretty great.
I think I'll name it Cyber Defender, just for the fun of it.
Yes, sir, in the back. That would be yes, sir.
Great stuff, Lisandro.
Yes, I've thought of it for a little bit, but as I was like searching for that, I found things like virtual boxes and virtual machines, and I got really interested in testing networks and then trying to rebuild something for that. And like, there's a whole community, like a red team and a blue team, and it's like, I think it's super fascinating, and I also like programming. But,
You mentioned a boot camp at CU, a cybersecurity boot camp. Is that like is that a few week program? Is that like a year program? How long would that training or certification take?
yeah, so for the first part of the program is just an introduction, and most people are required to take that just so they can determine if it's like a thing they want to do. That is 4 weeks. The other part of the program is actually getting to know the system and getting certifications, and that one is around 6 months.